Hi and welcome to my channel. I hope that you're having a fabulous day. I have a design team project for ASC Craft Supplies and my coupon code is Michelle10 for 10% off, and this is also my project for the Christmas All Year collab of 2024, which is hosted by Betty, who is Scrap Passion 01. And I'll have her linked in the description box below, as well as the other participants. So you want to make sure to visit all of the other talented ladies and see what they have come up for the month of March. And our videos come out the second Sunday of each month at 10 Central Standard Time or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What I have created today is a refillable legal pad or notepad holder. I thought this would be great for making lists of what I want to get, who I have to buy for, the Christmas card list, that type of thing, just to have it all in one spot, and would maybe make my life a little bit easier when it gets closer to the holiday. And the paper collection that I have chosen is an older one by Mintay, and it's Time of Wonders. I want to say it's a couple years old, but I'm not 100% sure. So on the front here, we have the gorgeous Christmas tree and this really pretty sage green with the burgundy or mauve, and then this really pretty star at the top. We have our nutcracker, just a beautiful scene. And then on the side, we've got my spine here, and then on the back is, you can see the beautiful wallpaper with the stars. And we have our little rocking horse here and the little collage with a chair. And just open it like so. And I do have a pocket here. And after I made this, and you know, looking back, I probably should have put another pocket or a flap to hold receipts or other items, or I could have made this with two envelopes here or one large envelope. So there's lots of different ideas you could do to customize it for yourself. And then I just used a piece of ribbon to hook my pen or pencil. And the notepad I'm using here is 5x8, and I did get these off of Amazon. And the finished project is 6 by 8.5. I just couldn't remember, and I think it is a 1-inch spine is what I did. Well, actually, by the time you do the covers and everything, it's 1 1/4. I do have it where when I use this paper, it just slides out and there is a pocket. If you just stay tuned, you can watch the tutorial. And I did watch a couple of different people. I think May Made It was one, and Michelle Allen was another crafter. I am going to put all of my measurements in the description box below. Before you start cutting your paper, I always recommend to check that in case there would be an error when I'm saying the measurements during the tutorial. For the small notepad holder, we will need one piece that is 1 inch by 8.5, two pieces that are 6 by 8.5, and I've already put score tape on the back. And we will need cardstock. This is basil. It's 12 by 12, and I've cut it down. And I think it's guacamole is the color. So this piece is 4 by 10.5. We'll need one of these. And we'll need two pieces that are 8 by 10.5. And we will need a piece that is 6 3/8 by 8 inches. I've scored at 1/2 inch, 5/8, and 5 3/4, and 5 7/8 on the 6 3/8 inch side. And then I turned it, or rather I should say I turned it and scored it at 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. And here at the bottom, I've just cut the corners and then left the little tab right here. So when I fold this over, it'll go on the inside. That's how these pieces go. And even on this side, the tab is cut differently. So I just cut the corner of that up to the little tab and then cut in some little slits on each side. This is what will hold our tablet. And this is a little pocket, the pocket on the left-hand side, and it measures 4 by 6, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on the 4-inch side and 1/2 inch on the 6-inch side. And then what I did was, I guess I was holding it this way, and I came over to 1 1/4 inch and just left a little mark. And then on this corner, I came down 4 inches, and I just lined the little marks up in my scoreboard, or excuse me, my paper trimmer, and put my little dots, lined them up, and then just ran that along like so. So that's how I got the pocket. And I did follow a tutorial. I think I have seen Let's Get Scrappy, and I think Tamra, who has Country Craft Creations, I think is the lady that came up with this, but she wraps her chipboard pieces, and then it just makes it so much easier, and you do not have to worry about your spine cracking. The first thing I want to do is let's wrap our covers. Some of the videos I've seen, they will lay these in their scoreboard and make sure everything is lined up perfectly, but I'm going to live on the edge and we'll just guesstimate it. So we want approximately 1 inch. We have an extra inch at the top, the bottom, and the sides of the paper. It's 8 by 10, and our chipboard pieces are 6 by 8.5, so we have an extra 2 inches added from the 6 by 8.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel off the score tape. And personally, I do like the name brand score tape better than some of the knockoff. I've had the knockoff not hold. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. And then what you do is you will take it over, and I kind of just go around and kind of start training the paper of how we want to go. And then lay it down and start taking your bone folder and just really run it along the edge of the chipboard so you get a nice edge. It just gives a really nice finished look on your project if you really work those fibers in. And it'll help wrap around the chipboard. So you can see how it's... And then I'm going to go back down and just fold it over, get a good crisp line on that, and do it on all 4 sides. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and miter my corners. So I'm just going to go, and you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm cutting just to the right of my score line. So you can see where the lines intersect, and I'm just cutting right there beside of it. Okay. That way you will not see the corners of your chipboard. And I think I do have a tool for that, and I'm not sure where it's at on my desk. So we'll just go ahead, work the corners. I have some 3/8 inch score tape that I'm just going to work around the outside edge. I am going to use some wet glue. I'm going to do the side here. I'll go ahead and peel this back, and I'll go ahead and do the other side as well. Just fold this over, just get it started, and come in with my bone folder, give it a good burnish, and then we'll do this side. Okay, but see how that, where we took the bone folder and really worked that paper, it gives it such a nice edge that I really like that. And then we will take our, take the bone folder again, and I'm just going to fold the little corners in so they won't stick out. That little bit of, when we were trimming and we left that little, it's probably not even 1/8 of an inch, probably a 1/16 of an inch. We left that so you wouldn't see the very corner. So I'm just folding that over, and I'm going to put the glue. We want a little bit more room on the spine. So our spine was 1 inch by 8.5. We're still adding the 2 inches to the height to get 10.5. And then we are adding 3 inches to the 1 inch because we want 1.5 inches on each side of the spine. So I'm just going to eyeball that once again. I like using my mat here. Pull this off. So once again, I'm going to just start working a little bit on the edges by folding it just to get it started. And then I'm going to flip it over and work with my bone folder and get it really creased in, or burnished rather. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, this is a little different. I'm going to cut even with the sides, cutting along that score line, and do the same thing here. And then we're going to fold this piece over, so make sure we don't have any hanging. I'm going to trim just a little bit at an angle, just ever so slightly. That one was a little bit more, but just like that. Make sure you keep the top covered, but down here I don't want it interfering. And then on these parts here, I'm just going to cut at a little bit of an angle, like so. Get that right there. Well, my scissors, there we go. And then I'm going to fold this down, and I'm just going to cut like that, and that's sticking up past, so I'm going to just angle it off. So it is going to be flat at the top. So I'm going to trim just a little bit right here. Okay, so you just be careful not to cut the top piece. So there's that. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. And then I'm just going to put glue here on this piece and just fold it up. Give it a good burnish. And do the same thing to this little piece. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and wrap this second piece, and then we will put our covers onto the spine. We have both of our covers, and so now what I'm going to do is I am going to put score tape, figure out how I want my covers, which I want for the front and the back. So I'm going to put tape along each side here. So we've got that there. So those will go there, other like this side. And then I'm going to put some tape along this edge so you can see here, you know, it's not quite enough. So I'm going to put some here. This time I'll use my 1/2" score tape. I think I have enough left on this roll to do the edges here. But I like this method for wrapping the album because then you don't have to worry about your spine cracking. So I really like it, and I've made several albums and folios using this, and I've been very pleased with it, and it gives such a nice finished look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it this way away from me so I can kind of use my grid here to line this up. So I'm going to kind of push down up against the spine and then just let it fall down is my plan. Make sure the top and the bottoms are lined up. Give it a little gusset. So there you go. So there you have your book. And to me, it just looks so professional, and it's nicely wrapped, and you don't have to worry about cracking. And then once again, I'm just going to go up against it. I'm making sure, you know, I'm along my straight edge, or my line here, my grid, and I'm making sure I'm up against the side of the spine. I just kind of push down, and then we'll slide it up just a little bit. Okay, and then just let it fall down like so. This measures, I think it's 4 inches wide. Let me double check. It is, it's almost 4 inches wide. So I'm just going to look here, make sure it's going to cover up everything. And that does look good. Like I said, it's just a little under 8.5 that way. And when you put this down, you want to make sure it is not up above your top of your book or the bottom. So I'm going to put some score tape on it. Just going to line it up here along the bottom. And I'm going to check and make sure it's not sticking up past. It's not. I'm just going to work on the spine, and then just going to gradually just work this into there. I have 4 pieces of decorative paper that measure 5 7/8 inches wide by 8 3/8 inches tall. So I have 2 for the outside and 2 for the inside. And the outside spine, I have it at 1 inch by 8 3/8. And the inside, I did 7 3/8. Excuse me, I did 7/8 inches wide by 8 3/8 inches tall. So it's a little bit more narrow on the inside than it is the outside. I just like that look better. So now I'm just going to glue my front piece on and my back piece and my spine. sure I burnish it really well. And I'm going to turn it, make sure I have outside right. I'm going to turn it like this and put this paper here and put this here and put that in the middle just for some sort of contrast. For the pocket on the left, this piece measures 3 3/8 inches wide by 5 3/8 inches tall. So I'm just going to eyeball it on here of where it will be centered. And I'm just going to kind of go over how far I want my, the green to show. So I'm just going to line this up with the cutting part of my score blade. There, get it centered. Like so. And so we will see if this lines up now. And that looks pretty good to me. We have this piece, which is 5 by 7 1/4. So I'm just going to fold it back and I'm going to glue it in between the score lines. And same thing with this piece. I'm just going to hold the score lines back and go ahead and glue it down before I attach it. Bring in a 3-inch piece of ribbon for my pen loop or pencil loop. So I'm just going to put this along the bottom of our holder. And I've been seeing some of paper crafters take tape and put along the bottom so it will, when you're tucking papers in, it will not catch. So I've just put some tape along the bottom. Then we will take this piece off. And now we have our pocket, a nice pocket. And then this, I just want along the bottom as well. Just fold it, make sure we get it along the bottom and along this edge. Tape along the bottom. I thought it would be nice to have for, getting prepared for the holidays and starting our list. So I'm just going to check that and make sure that looks good, like so. And then I'm just going to reach in here. Okay, I forgot to put score tape on this, so did forget my pen loop. Goodness gracious. I just like having a little bit for my pen like this, just to catch some glue on the ribbon and in between the ribbon and both sides, and we'll just tuck it in like so, and where we want our pin at. I'm just going to hold that for a little bit, and it will, art glitter glue is really good. It will grab here in just a little bit. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to visit all of the other participants for the Christmas All Year Collab 2024. And remember, if you decide to create a project, make sure to use the hashtag Christmas All Year Collab 2024. and I will have that written out in the description box as well. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.